Hey, Dr. Bill here. I am super excited to do this next Meet the Mentor. Now, for those of you who know, I have 3 daughters. This is daughter number 2. I don't know if we'll ever get daughter number 3 out here, but we're going to do Anna's Meet the Mentor in a few moments. We are super excited about LEAP this year. It will be back at UCLA. It will be July 12th to the 18th. We have an amazing lineup, and I'm super excited. We've got other groups working with us. Mosaic is sending kids. It's going to be a really, really great year. I have a little bit of information now. If you have not seen or heard of LEAP in the past, and you are a parent with a student 15 to 25, you need to watch this video. In fact, if you're a student 15 to 25 and you want to know more about LEAP, watch this.
LEAP is an entrepreneurship program for high school and college students aged 15 to 25 that we have taught at UCLA for the last 16 years. What do we teach? We teach students skills to be successful in life. And the coolest thing about LEAP is that I've asked so many of my celebrity patients and business leaders to come and help, and they do. We've had Mark Wahlberg, Paula Abdul, Michael Strahan, Kathy Bates, Anthony Hopkins, Apollo Ono, Eric Garcetti, Jason Alexander. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And these people come and share the secrets of their success with our LEAP students. Typically, we get about 500 to 550 students every summer, and we literally pack them with so much information. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And one of the parts that the students love most is when we bring in these mentors. So we started this Meet the Mentor series because we didn't want this to just be a one and done week. We wanted to do it throughout the year and continue to give these students great information from great mentors to teach them how to do businesses in every field you could ever imagine.
So our next Meet the Mentor is my daughter, Anna Dorfman. Now, if she stayed in medicine, we would have kept Dorfman. However, we had a radical change in direction, at which point I looked back and said, you know, if you're going to be a singing artist, I think we should upgrade the name a little bit more for the music industry. So the name that we came up with is Anna Sky. And Anna Sky's career has exploded. I don't know another artist who has done as much as she has done in this short a period, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. This last year, we did 25 cities where she opened for the iconic Jesse McCartney. It was amazing all across the country. We've already signed a tour. Oh, when I say we, it's because I'm kind of the dadinger a little bit here. We've already signed a tour with Leah Kate. We will do 16 cities, 10 in Europe and 6 nationally here. And we have a really exciting possibility to do stadiums in Italy. So we're working on that. But I think the most exciting thing is how this whole thing started. And I'll bring Anna in to kind of talk about that. But it's been an exciting and a real whirlwind, right, Ani?
Definitely.
So what were you doing prior to music?
Well, prior to music, I was working in a lab as a biologist. I actually, was it last year?
It's almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah. Well, a little over a year ago, I got certified in embryology with the plan of working in fertility because I'd been working in fertility research for 3 or 4 years. Yeah, so that was the plan. And then just as I was entering school for embryology, that's when my surprise music career started. So we had a little bit of a pivot.
And I have to say, to her credit, as we started this whole music thing, she was going full-time in San Diego, living with my dear friends Steve and Kim Dankworth, who were my roommates in dental school, and they housed Anna. She was commuting back and forth, getting her degree in embryology, and starting this iconic career in music, and it was crazy. So way back in the beginning, my daughters all would appease me and go water skiing. Not their favorite sport, but they would do it for Papa. Anna actually liked it better than the twins. And, we were kind of at a point in summer where, there wasn't a lot going on. And I said, hey, Ani, let's go water skiing with really no ulterior motive. So we go water skiing with my dear friend, Dr. Dennis Wells. We get to his house to come back home on a Sunday in Nashville, Tennessee, and our flight is 4 hours late. And so Dennis has a brother who's in the music business, and he has a whole stage set up in his basketball gym in his backyard, and we start doing karaoke. And Anna's like on her phone saying, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And I keep saying, Anna, do something, Anna, do something. And finally, I think she was so sick and tired of hearing us all croak that she thought, okay, I'll go do a song.
Well, actually, I think our flight was delayed another 3 hours, and that's at that point I was like, well.
At that point, it was so bad. And I said, well, what song do you want to do? She's like, Dad, I play the piano. I'll just play the piano and sing a song. Okay. So I'm like, okay. Now, I knew that Anna could play the piano because I gave her piano lessons, but I didn't know she continued playing the piano. So she gets up there and she does this Lana Del Rey song. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I always knew she was great, but not that great. And so I pull out my phone, hiding my phone, because I know if she sees me recording it, she's going to be like, Dad, put your phone away. So, and I just recorded it and didn't really think much about it. I had it in my pocket. We flew home, we caught our flights. About a month later, Kirsty, who's a female singer in Pentatonics, comes into the office, and we're really close. I've been close with Pentatonics since they started. And, she's asking me how the kid, and I'm like, hey, we were just in Nashville, listen to this. And she listens and says, Doc, she should do that as a living. I'm like, yeah, I know, she's good. She goes, no, like, she really I'm like, okay. Boom. Right after that, Diane Warren comes in, right? And I'm like, well, if Kirsty liked it, Diane will probably love it. So I play it for Diane, and she's like, Doc, that's exactly the sound I want for my new record. What's Anna doing tomorrow? I said, nothing. Her lab's closed. I said, let's call her. So we get on the phone, and I'm dialing. I'm saying, oh, please answer, because it's like a 50-50. Like if I call Georgie, it's maybe like 1 in 10. Charlie's almost 90%. Anna's 50-50. Well, she picks up the phone.
Moment.
She picks up the phone. We start talking. Diane says, come in tomorrow, and you can record my song. I'm like, wait, you mean like you're going to audition her? She goes, no, I heard everything I want to hear. That she's perfect. So Anna goes in, says, okay, I'll go in. We hang up. Diane looks me in the eye and says, Doc, she is good in studio, right? I'm like, amazing. Anna had never been in a studio. So then I call a producer. I said, okay, can you please work with my daughter for like an hour before she goes in? Anna does that. Now I'll let you take over. What happened?
After an hour of being in the studio, I went over to Diane's studio, recorded the song, and then was hanging out with her producers for like 8 hours after that, at least, just, tweaking things, like watching them do their magic. Kind of became friends with them. Apparently they had no idea that I'd never recorded in a studio before somehow. And we stayed in contact. I remember I called you at the end of the day. It was like maybe 11 p.m. at this point. And I was like, Dad, I just had the best day of my life. Like, I know there's never a world in which I would get to do this professionally, but if I did, I would be the happiest person. I would be like you, going to work every day doing something I love and never feeling like it's work. And I was like, but that's not going to happen. So haha, at least I had this, not even at least I had this, but just very grateful for the opportunity, not expecting anything more. I stayed in contact with two of Diane's producers, and we would go to the gym and hang out. And at one point, one of them approached both of us and was like, I would really like to work with you creatively and develop you as an artist. And yeah, from there, everything just took off.
Well, that producer has been working with Diane for years. His name is AC Burrell, and he has worked with iconic music legends like Lady Gaga, Janet Jackson, Toni Braxton, who we love, Beyonce, Zendaya, Post Malone, and many, many more. And, you know, AC and I talk every day, at least once or twice a day. And he said, Doc, your daughter has it. I mean, he goes, I really want to develop her. And so we have been working at this for over a year now. We have about 20 songs. I think there are 32 now. 6 are already up, right?
At least 6 are released. Yeah.
Our 6 are released. On Valentine's Day, so this may come out a little bit after Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day we're releasing 2 songs. King of Hearts, which is an iconic song.
King of Hearts.
And Anna just finished shooting a music video for it. And Diane Warren has given us the rights to re-record her biggest hit, which was sung by our dear friend Toni Braxton, called Unbreak My Heart.
Unbreak my heart.
So Anna, I mean, your life 2 years ago was really just like, I'm gonna be in labs my whole life. Like, how does this feel to have just kind of made this transition?
It feels very bizarre. It doesn't feel real most of the time. I still feel like I'm learning on the job every day, but I do feel like I can look back to, you know, a little over a year ago and see so much growth from where I was when I started to where I am now. So that's very encouraging, and I know there's still a lot more for me to learn, but I'm so grateful to work with, you know, the very talented people that I do get to work with, because I feel like that's the best way for me to learn.
What was it like at that very first concert when you're like, when you were on tour with Jesse and you're sitting out and you're looking at this like sold out stadium? He sold out DC 2 days in a row, but like to actually be there on stage looking out, how did that feel?
It was definitely nerve-wracking. I always, I do get a little nervous leading up to getting on stage. Once I'm on stage, it's kind of like something takes over my brain and I just go into performance mode, and then I'm not nervous anymore. I'm just having like the time of my life. I will say though, obviously Jesse McCartney, he's been doing this for like 20 years. He's very seasoned. He's an absolute pro. So getting to watch him work was such a blessing. And I will say, like, I got off stage and I was like, yo, I kind of like crushed that. And then I watched him perform and I was like, oh, okay, well.
Well, and there's one other thing too, and I love giving credit where credit is due. Lisa is amazing. We have the good fortune of having Lisa Einhorn Gilder.
Nope.
Do it.
Einhorn Gilder.
Einhorn Gilder as our tour man. I just call her Lisa as our tour manager. She worked with Lady Gaga from the get-go. She's been in the business for over 30 years, and she never left Anna's side. And one of the things I love is she and Anna created this kind of routine, this like performance day routine, where it was just, one step after the other. And I think that really kind of helped you, like getting in a routine.
Absolutely. And what like a lot of people don't see off stage is like leading up to getting on stage, the entire day I'm getting ready for that 30-minute set. I did all of my own hair, makeup, wardrobe the entire tour. I except for one performance where I had my makeup done professionally. as a gift to me for my birthday. But it's like a all hands on deck job, especially for me because I'm such a perfectionist. So yes, I do think having a routine is very helpful for me. Structure in general is very helpful for me, but also just having that time to just, I don't know. I love doing my own makeup. Hair I'm still getting the hang of, but it's almost like a meditation where I'm like getting into honest guy performance mode.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. And I have to say, even from the very first performance, I didn't see one bit of nerves. I mean, yeah, you make a little mistake here or there on a word or a this or that, but like, I don't think anybody in the audience would ever have known. It's just I saw almost all 25 performances, so I would see the whole thing. But it was amazing, and I told this to Anna. So they went on a tour bus. And it just doesn't make sense to fly because of flights being delayed and this and that and the other thing. And I was totally prepared to get her a tour bus, even though she was the opening act, and that never happened. And she's like, "No, Dad. I have to be with the crew." So she was on a bus with how many people? 9
I
bunks?
think 9. Yeah, I believe it might have been 12. It was 6, 12. Yeah.
Yeah, and the first week I'm like, "How you doing?" She goes, "Dad, I sleep better on this tour bus than I do at home. It's crazy. Like you were just born to be on a tour bus."
Yeah, I'm like you. When I go to sleep, I just lay down on my back and I do not move at all. So I was very well prepared for a tour bus life in that regard.
What has been the hardest thing to adapt to in this whole change in your trajectory of careers?
Like we talked about, structure is very helpful for me. That's kind of why I like working in a lab is like you have a very specific SOP. You have every step. It's kind of like a recipe like laid out for you. So you know exactly what you're doing every day and there's no really room for wiggle room. And working as an artist, I don't have that structure most of the time unless I'm on tour. I really have to create my own structure. And that's difficult for me to do, especially when I'm like working in such a creative and intuitive field. So I think that has been something that's challenging for me. Obviously, time management is something that has been a journey for me, and I've made a lot of progress on, but it's still a process. I think the second thing is I'm not really somebody by nature that is good at like self-promotion, which is unfortunate because in this industry you really have to do that a lot, especially with social media being such a big part of being an artist these days. So that's been an adjustment as well.
What is it that you're looking forward to next? I mean, so far, we've got these 6 songs out. We've got the tour coming up. I'm 99% sure we'll get the tour in Italy, doing stadiums. If you could just wave a magic wand and say, "This is what I want next."
I think my biggest goal right now is to create like a very dedicated fan base. I think that and the music are the two most important things, right? Like you need the music, but then you also need the audience, because without the audience, the music, it's for, it makes me happy and it makes you happy, but I want it to have more meaning for more people. So I think that is kind of my biggest goal right now. And I would love to get to a place where I'm, headlining my own shows as opposed to, I love opening for other performers, but I would love to get to a place where I'm, performing in my own right. And there are definitely some events that I would love to perform at. So those are some things on my vision board, if you will.
When Anna was a little girl, she used to write these stories. Like she would write like 10-page stories at the age of 6 or 7. I never saw a kid do this. And I always said to her, I said, "Anna, you're going to be a writer." She's like, "Dad, I'm not." And what happened was, so now she's a songwriter, And so we were both kind of right. But it's just been such an exciting thing to see this transition and all these doors that are opening. And I'll be honest, I'm having more fun with her business than I did with any of the businesses I started.
I had so much fun.
And I told Donna, I hope you're keeping a great journal, because
Yes, I
one
am.
day this is going to make like a movie of the week or something like that. It's pretty amazing, and we absolutely owe so much to Diane Warren for basically initiating this whole thing. AC Burrell has become literally part of our family. He is my brother and like a second dad almost to Anna. And Lisa, oh my gosh, she's just indispensable and so loving and caring and spot on. And then we've got, Livia and Brian and Black Box. And I mean, it takes a team. We just brought on John Monopoly, who's incredible with Punch. And I mean, it really does take a team.
Yeah, it takes a village. And you know what? To plug Leaf, I will say that I don't know if I would be in this position today without having gone through the program so many times as a student, as a junior coach, as a coach. I think James and other people that have been in Leap from day one know this, but I don't know if other people are aware of this, is that I really, really struggled with social anxiety, badly growing up. I could not make eye contact with people very well. I could not speak with people I didn't know well with ease. And going through the program, I really learned how to push through that, in addition to doing, other things like CBT and stuff like that. It really, really helped me push through that to where I feel much more confident today. And I don't know if I would be able to be performing on stage without that. I think also another lesson that I learned from Leap is, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And that's something that I really take to heart. Somebody that I worked with in the studio last year before I went on tour told me that, I think she said it was Prince, every time he would perform, he would first of all watch footage of it and then write about it and write about what he could have done better, what he did well. And that's something that I've really tried to do every single time I perform, is watch the footage, write about how I can make it better, so that every time I am getting better.
Going back to Lee, one of the things that I always say, we try to pack so much into the program, but I always say, if I can just get these 2 points to stick. Number one, don't wait for opportunities in life, make them. Every huge opportunity I've ever had in my life, I had something. It wasn't like I was just sitting back and it just hit me in the face. And number two, when you do get an opportunity, don't take it, master it. And that's what I love so much about Anna. She had never taken vocal lessons. She's taking vocal, she's taking dance. She's really doing everything an artist needs to do to prepare. I remember when we signed the tour, she's like, Dad, how am I going to get a makeup at each venue? I'm like, you're not. You're going to have to learn how to do this. Cousin Rhonda is a makeup artist. She will teach you. Because to try and coordinate that and then spend another $1,500 per show, I'm like, no, you got to learn this. So it just became this whole routine. And it's so much fun.
Yeah. I also insisted, and this was one of those rare times when my dad told me that I was right afterward, which can't tell you what that meant for me. Personal win. But I insisted on working with a movement coach. He's amazing. His name is Rosero. And I insisted on it. And my dad was like, you don't need that. You can just stand on stage and sing. And
I'm like, Dad, they're there to hear you. Just sing.
And I was like, I know you would be happy with that, but I want this to be a fun experience for everybody watching. Yeah, I want it to be a show, and that's not my vision for how I want this to go. So after seeing the show, he pulled me aside and he was like, "You were right. That was the right call."
Well, also, it was fortunate that you were a dancer as a young girl, too. So you had a background. It wasn't like all of a sudden, let's learn how to dance. It was just, let's choreograph things. But I'll tell you something. When you guys get a chance to watch the King of Hearts video, it looks like she'd been making videos like since she was born. Yeah, I mean, she was such a pro, and Nab, oh man, you are the best. I have big plans to work with you in the future. So,
Nice.
Anything else you want to say, Ani?
Just thank you for being such a supportive dadinger. My dad has a shirt that he wore to every show. I don't know who gave you this shirt, but they need to make a new one. But it says Tour Dad, and he wore it like a badge of honor. And I will tell you, I still get DMs on my artist account saying like, "I met your dad," or "That show is when I met your dad." And like, I think, you know, I'm very fortunate to have you in my corner. You're always my number one advocate. And, you know, none of this would be happening without you, obviously, and AC and everyone that we mentioned already. But at the end of the day, it's you and I, and we're going on this journey together. So I'm very grateful.
Well, you know, I love you, and I'm so proud of you. This is, I mean, more. Anyhow, Dr. Bill, over and out.